So mid-range decks, if you're not familiar with them, generally refer to... the best way to describe mid-range in my experience is that a mid-range deck is a deck that assumes different rules depending on what matchup you're in. So, for instance, a mid-range deck against an aggressive deck tends to be more controlling, while a mid-range deck against control decks tends to be more aggressive. So, how exactly your deck is playing pivots based on the matchup that you're playing. Just going to go ahead and post on Twitter here really quick that we're changing decks, and we'll be on our way. This deck has a neat sub-theme to it, which is that a lot of the cards in our deck allow us to take our opponent's cards and play them against them, which is a good time. So we'll be playing not only with the cards that are in our deck, but we'll also be casting some of our opponent's cards against them. What are my opinion on a possible KCI ban? I don't know. Modern's super degenerate. I hope they unban stuff in Modern rather than banning KCI. Why play with one deck when you could play with two? Yep, I mean, I'm sure our opponent put some good cards in their deck as well, right? Might as well give them a taste of their own medicine. Why no Demise instead of Cannonade? So this deck list is a viewer-submitted list, so they've put it together. I'd assume part of the reason we have Cannonade, though, is because we have Kitesail Freebooter, which is a pirate that doesn't die to it. He's learning what Grixis means. Grixis is magic jargon for the color combination. So magic has 5 colors in it. Red, white, black, blue, and green. And Grixis refers to red, blue, and black. Alright, so we got a good amount of disruption here. So we're going to start with Thought Erasure, which lets us look at our opponent's hand and then take one of their cards away from them. We've got a couple different directions we can go with this, but they have 3 creatures that are all pretty reasonable, but they also have Find Finality here. There could be merit to taking one of the creatures and then using the Kitesail Freebooter to take the Find Finality. The problem is... Sounds good, BJ Roth. Thanks for the biddies. I appreciate the support. The problem with leaving them with the Find Finality and trying to take it with the Kitesail Freebooter is Kitesail Freebooter gives them back the card that we've taken when it dies, so they'll eventually get back that Find Finality, especially with the Ravenous Chupacabra, and then be able to cast it. Thanks, Sauge. Hope you're having a good Monday. So this does mean that my Kitesail Freebooter next turn is likely to not find anything, because Kitesail Freebooter, while it's a discard spell, it only takes non-creature cards. I think unbanning Twin would fix anything. Stop. People talk about Modern like it needs to be fixed. There are a lot of people that really enjoy Modern how it is now, and you don't need to fix things that aren't broken. If you don't like Modern for the format that it is right now, don't play it. It's okay. One of the things that makes Magic awesome is that it has so many different formats that you can play. And if you don't like a specific one and other people do, don't try and change that thing that someone enjoys. Instead, just play something else. So I'm going to lead on Discovery here, and the reason why I'm playing Discovery before the Lava Coil is because if this finds a discard spell, I'd like to play the discard spell here. Kitesail Freebooter's technically a discard spell, but it doesn't take Ravenous Chupacabra away. I think I don't want this Contempt either. They don't have any Planeswalkers in sight. I'm going to go ahead and exile their Jadelight Ranger. It's worth noting that even though both their creatures are 3/2s, it's important that I hit the Jadelight Ranger rather than the Merfolk Branchwalker with the Lava Coil, because Lava Coil exiles the creature that I'm targeting, and I'd much rather exile Jadelight Ranger because this is the more powerful creature should they try to get something back later. Modern is degenerate, and that's okay. Agreed. Nice, Grishel Brand Infect. We're kind of in a bad spot here. I know my opponent has 2 removal spells in their hand to answer my next 2 threats, which really sucks. And they have 5 power in play, so they're pressuring me out here pretty quickly. I think I lead on Nicol Bolas, because he at least takes an extra card out of their hand with him. So get this land into play tap. I assume they're going to see Contempt or Assassin's Trophy on this, and they're going to smack us for 5. I guess the upside here is if they kill this and attack us, next turn I can Hostage Taker, take their Branchwalker. Celebration for new viewer record and front page status. Thanks for the bits, Plagia. I appreciate it. The Nikki B animation is great. All the mythic dragons have such good animations. So Hostage Taker is a very aptly named card here. It comes into play and it grabs one of my opponent's cards. And then I can replay their card on my side of the board. So we'll yoink their Branchwalker here and then play it out. So normally, if my opponent kills the Hostage Taker, they would get their creature back if I haven't played it yet. But because I took something and played it out right away there while my opponent was tapped out, they didn't have a chance to do that. And we're kind of at parity here now. My opponent has Assassin Trophy for my next big threat, but like as far as the board goes, we've got things kind of locked up. I think I was missing is 2 of the 4 Arclight units. The best way to learn to pilot decks. Definitely just practice. And actually, Ox, I would recommend looking up Andrew Jessup's Blue-Red Drake's deck list from the last SCG Invitational. There's actually a bunch of... There are a bunch of there's a bunch of good Drake's builds that actually don't play Phoenix anymore. So I hit Thief of Sanity here. This basically says my opponent discards their Assassin's Trophy because every time this hits them, it would allow me to draw a card off their deck. So this is dead, but I don't have any way in sight to take this out of their hand, so I kind of like just to clear it so that way my next threat could stick. There could be merit to holding this in my hand because I could draw a Kitesail Freebooter or a Thought Erasure. There might be merit to holding it. There's definitely benefits and downsides to both. Is Coil and Get Aggressive not the right play? It could be. Yeah, I guess I could see that. I don't know. Like, they have a Memorial to Folly here, so they could, like, pick up Branchwalker. I think I just do this now, right? Just, like, Cannonade, kill all your stuff. It kills the Branchwalker, too, but it, like, leaves my Hostage Taker alone. The SCG Invitational. Yeah, but, like, if they pick up Troops and kill my Hostage Taker, it's, like, not a big deal, right? Them losing their 6th land means they can't cast Carnage Tyrant if they draw it. There's definitely ups and downs to, like, Lava Coiling versus Cannonading. Like, if they hold on this Memorial to Folly, Marty Punker doling out some sub-gifties. I appreciate that. Thank you for your absurd generosity this year. I've always been popular on Dead Voodoo. They win the race with the current board state. Kinda. I have Kitesail Freebooter. And, like, if they pick up their Chupacabra and kill this to try and race me, I just Lava Coil their Chupacabra. So it's kind of a wash. Marty's doled out a lot of sub-gifts on this channel. Or there are a number of people who have doled out a ton of sub-gifts. Yeah, at this point, like, I think the onboard kind of goes in either direction. It's definitely going to come down to who rips better off the top. So it's worth noting here that because I drew this Thought Erasure, I'm kind of getting punished in a way for having been aggressive with my Thief of Sanity. Because if I would have waited, I could have erasured their Assassin's Trophy. Goalie with the 5 sub-gifties as well. If Arena becomes the main stage for competitive Magic, do you think Wizards will have to do anything special for infinite combos or just have people click as fast as possible? I think Wizards' goal is to not have a bunch of infinite combos exist in Standard. And since Standard is going to be the primary format for Arena, I think that they just won't worry about it. So the Dragonskull Summit not only lets you cast the Dispersal Partific, but it's also a red source that casts Discovery. So like Mountain Dragonskull Summit Discovery is a keep, whereas Mountain Discovery usually isn't. It's all random though, Zero. Like I'm drawing random cards every turn. Wow, okay. Interesting. So they're just like gonna set up to try and race us here. This seems really loose considering I have a 2-3 in play. Yeah, like I just get to keep my 2-3 at home and just like not worry about anything. Look at all my 2-3s. So will I find appreciation here for my allegiance brews that are mediocre but do things that are sweet on occasion? What's going on, Filthy Casual? That's like the mantra of our stream, right? We're mostly mediocre, but we do sweet things on occasion. So they could trade both of these for my hostage taker, but I think that's a win for me, so go. I think I'm gonna Thought Erasure here, just to surveil one at this point. Yeah, so like bidding a land there is kind of like drawing a card. I don't think I want a Lava Coil here. I think if they want to trade up, I'm okay with that. Because like, even if I Lava Coil this, they could still trade Land War Elves here, and I end up in a similar spot. I definitely prefer Storm to the Phoenix decks in Modern. Wasn't a big fan of Mono Red. This is not normal for Standard. My average concurrent viewer count without being on the front page of Twitch is probably about 12 to 1500 or so for Standard on Arena. So higher than Modern and Magic Online, but not quite this high. You draw another brick. Found a removal spell here. Yep. Yeah, but that includes Modern time in there, Larinax, so it's higher for Arena. So we don't have them dead next turn, but I get to Lava Coil this. They have main deck Duress. That's interesting. So the problem, Larinax, is that it's all just filed under Magic on Twitch. So even if it is tracked by game, it wouldn't really be tracked by game here. Ha! That's a lethal Dispersal. So this kills one thing, and then Dispersal bounces the elf to their hand and makes them discard it. Let's attack for lethal. My friends. So we both flooded a little bit there. We had slightly more action than the opponent, though. Direfleet Poisoner is actually very good in a matchup like this, because this is a 2-mana instant speed wave that can flash in and kill Carnage Tyrant, so that's valuable. I don't think this is a Izzet matchup. I think I'm just swapping out Cannonade for Direfleet Poisoner. I'm clicking submit. Most expensive Bolt the Bird ever. I'm pretty sure there's been Ugins played to Bolt the Bird at various points. I agree, Adam. I think it's a good thing for Magic. And I, as a viewer, also like that they're all wrapped up into one. Saw chess at 15,000 views. I don't think I'd count Emrakul Annihilation as bolting the bird. Opponent trying to figure out how to sideboard. So the deck that we're playing is kind of an off-meta deck. It's not something that people play very often, so I'm not too surprised the opponent has to think for a little bit here on exactly how they want their sideboard in and outs to line up against us. If I turn every device I own, does that count as more viewers? I actually don't know. Don't get in trouble, Marty. Don't get in trouble now. Double the view count is a testament to how much work people actually do at their jobs on Mondays, right? It was Fridays when I worked in corporate America for like a year after grad school before I started to stay home with the kids, and I think it was Fridays was usually the day that most people weren't around then. This hand has great spells in it, but most hands without resources have great spells, right? So let's take a mulligan here. Usually, this is actually one of the best starts our deck can have. Turn 2, Thought Erasure lets us look at our opponent's hand and hopefully take their only piece of removal. And then turn 3, we get to play Thief of Sanity and hopefully run away with the game because this draws a card off their deck every turn, which creates a pretty powerful set of card advantage for us. Thought Erasure also lets us surveil one, which helps us set up our future draws, which is nice. The cast down's a good keep on top of our deck here, because this will be a piece of spot removal to help us keep our opponent's board in check while we're hitting them with Thief of Sanity in the air. Okay, that's rough. I'm not surprised to see Thought Erasure go away here. I haven't watched your stream in a few weeks. I am a part of Tempo Storm. So Tempo Storm added a Magic the Gathering branch fairly recently, and I am one of their 3 initial members. They kept Eldest Reborn on top of their deck. I'm actually going to go ahead and cast down their Land War Elves here to hopefully slow them down from being able to get to that. Yeah, the Tempo Storm apparel looks sweet. My jersey from them is just going to say Hoagland on it, so that way I can get extra jerseys for the kids in Christie. Sweet. My opponent missed a land tier. So if they don't have an Assassin's Trophy or a cast down, this Thief of Sanity is going to run away with the game pretty quickly. An SI in Legacy, definitely, Marty. All right, we might have a pretty classic game of Screw versus Flood here. So that was our only threat, unfortunately. Hopefully this Discovery is going to let us dig into one. If our opponent misses more land drops, it should be pretty slow. Ace with the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here this month. Screw does generally beat Flood. Those are 2 really good cards on top of my deck, though. Like, if I was stacking my deck here, I probably would have put those 2 up in that order. They didn't have a removal spell at my end of turn there, which implies they likely don't have a removal spell here. Thief of Sanity runs away very quickly. Our opponent Duress our Thought Erasure. So they hit their 3rd land, but Thief of Sanity's hitting them, so one of your finest spells, please. Carnage Tyrant, sign me up. I am doing wonderful, Mile. We're currently up on the front page of Twitch, so we've demolished my highest concurrent viewer record today, which is awesome. Thanks everybody for dropping in, by the way. Hope you're having a small start to your Monday. In the chance in the future, can we get a Legacy deck list on the website? I know things are a little bit more straightforward in Legacy, but I didn't know SI or Land Nauseam decks were. Maybe others I'd enjoy supporting. Yeah, possibly, Goalie. It's definitely something I could look into. At this point, it's probably not going to happen until after I get standard decks updated. Lots of Vivian. So I'm not actually sure what I want to do here. Vivian doesn't actually find... Hey, 11th End, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Vivian doesn't actually find that many creatures in our deck, but she could find a Kitesail Freebooter to take this Eldest Reborn. I think I'm going to Vivian and hope to hit Kitesail Freebooter. My weekend was fantastic, Butler. Thank you for the 2-month resub. Welcome back.
I've seen things that would break someone.
All right,
like you.
let's take a Thief of Sanity. Get to put this into play tap. Vivian also just gives us something to sacrifice to the Eldest Reborn if they play it this turn. Yeah. Carnage Tyrant here has hexproof, so it's going to hold the ground down pretty well. Thanks again for the great content. You mean we don't just go to the front page on your birthday? That's true. It was my birthday last week, wasn't it? Why do I care about the Eldest Reborn? I'd much rather just sit here and keep hitting them with the Thief. I'd much rather just sit here and keep killing them with the Thief.
Never see no fire.
It's hammer time, boys and girls. This is Magic's standard format. Play my second Thief here. So, the only sweeper the opponent's deck generally plays is Finality. And even if they Finality this board, I'm left with Carnage Tyrant and Angrath, which leaves us in a pretty good spot. And, like, this Thief has drawn, like, 3 cards here already, so we've gotten good value out of it. Yeah, we're thoroughly burying this green black opponent. They're highlighting Thief like they might have picked up one removal spell, but the second Thief is pretty good here. Means that even if they find the first removal spell, we're gonna keep hitting them and drawing more cards. In my opinion, what are the best decks right now? The 4 best decks in Standard, in my opinion, as we head into this next set, are Jeskai Control, Green-Black Midrange, White Splash Red Aggro, and Blue-Red Drakes. I think all 4 of those decks have a lot of play to them and are very good. Okay. They have Finality here, but their board dies. I have a 7/6 and I have an Angrath. Wow, that's good. So, is it good? I'm actually reassessing.
No fire.
Is it worth dispersaling the Eldest Reborn? It means they can replay. I gifted myself a sub. Thanks for the tier 3, Marty. I don't think I do. I think I actually just want to dig here. That's true. If they did just re-Eldest, I'd kill them with Tyrant. So yeah, maybe Dispersaling is right there. Oh, that's a good one. All right, all right. So I think they're pretty dead regardless of how we slice this. SCTR, I've lost count as CTR. You total them up and let me know what you want to add or bumper all that jazz. So they get Vivian, they shoot Kitesail, they're still dead to Carnage Tyrant.
Every fight makes me stronger.
Hitting their Carnage Tyrant on one of the first ones was pretty good.
Sometimes restoration means
Will do, Marty. Thank you. Alright, so you're dead.
Make way for your captain. My crew is the finest in the seas.
I don't usually watch streams, but yours is fantastic. Well, thank you for the compliment, 11th End, and thanks for the support. Listen, if you're going to keep playing, I'm going to take your last card away.
No
Thunk.
fire. No steel.
Boop, just boop him on the nose. Angrath, I need to build Rakdos midrange. Marty, I'm probably gonna build Rakdos midrange with your dealer's choice there because we need a good Angrath deck for the next set for sure. I love that. I love that Planeswalker. His voice lines are just such A+. Is it a boop on the nose when he's throwing a hammer? I mean, hammers can boop, right? This hand's a little bit awkward. So, like, it's definitely a keep, but I can't play Thought Erasure on 2 unless I draw an untapped land, which kind of sucks. We're over 9,000. Ah, got him. Got him. Thanks everybody for dropping in, by the way, and thanks for not just scrolling past the front page. Hope you're having a good Monday wherever you're at. My name's Jeff Hogan. We're hanging out playing some Magic the Gathering. On this application we're playing is Magic the Gathering Arena. It's free to download on your Windows system. However, it does work well from Linux and OS X using Wine if you're a nerd like I am. Is there a good Jund deck in the current format? There's Jund decks that are kind of playable, but in the current format, at least, there isn't really a compelling reason to be playing Jund as opposed to just green-black. Like, the tools you gain extra from being in red aren't super meaningful. Yeah, the new set releases on Thursday the 17th, so a couple days from now. No one's a nerd like me. Listen, there are dozens of Linux users out there, okay? Dozens of them. Sulfur Falls Island Discovery likely means blue-red drakes. Look at that. There's another Ubuntu user. I am not alone. Look at all the Linux folks. All right, sweet. Our hand's set up pretty well for this matchup. I'm going to take Crackling Drake here. Even though it costs more mana, it would draw them a card, which I'd rather not have happen. I will keep another Thought Erasure. Has some celebratory biddies. What do you think my Planeswalker abilities would be? I think the ultimate is probably time out the entire chat, right? That's gotta be my ultimate. Time entire chat out. Easy chart, of course, here. Both of these provide some selection for them. I'm not really looking for Kitesail Freebooter at this point. You tell me when to do it, we can make this a reality. Plus, shill 3 products, yep. Well, we shill 4 products per screen, so it'd be 4 products, right? Alright, what do you got? Check for a counterspell before we Lava Coil to kill this Drake. It's getting like double shocked, or like shock plus land in hand. Shock plus land, sure. Again, bidding Kitesail Freebooter. Looks to be a little bit more powerful at this point. So, opponent's board is clear. We're definitely the control deck in this matchup, so the board being clear at this point puts us at the advantage. However, if the opponent does draw well, they could bury us. Murpher, Faith Murpher with the 7-month resub. Thank you very much and welcome back. They're digging deep here. Let's see what we can discover. I think I keep the Vraska's Contempt here. While it's not a threat, which is what I'm really looking for, having a way to kill their next play is pretty valuable. Fiery Cannonade likely doesn't have a text box in this matchup because, generally speaking, most of my opponent's creatures have more than 4 toughness, or more than 2 toughness. Hoping to dodge dive down here. Perfect. I want to prioritize taking their threat off the table as opposed to playing my own Thief of Sanity. Because the Drake's a 7-7 there, so it kills us very quickly. This is a new max viewership record, Johnny. Last week we hit 4,700 and that was my record. This is a new concurrent max for me. Alright, Thief of Sanity. My opponent's deck is full of Lava Coils and Shocks most likely, so I'd kind of be surprised if this gets to untap, but if they don't kill this, we're going to get to generate some card advantage pretty quickly. I try not to use copyrighted audio or videos on my channel, so unfortunately, we can't just rip DBZ. That's a big no-no. Don't search it. It does kill her own Thief. You're not wrong. This will be one of the first cards we cut when we head to sideboarding here. Oh, they're playing Phoenixes. That's interesting. A lot of these blue-red decks have cut Phoenixes. All right. Well, I found a text box for Cannonade. Thief is not a pirate, unfortunately. What is in my graveyard? Do I want this memorial? I don't think I do. I think I'm just looking for bigger threats. I think the Thief is good enough to keep, but it's not good enough to draw memorial to replay later. Well, Ranting Bob, my front page promotion for this month is not through Wizards of the Coast or Arena. It's just through Twitch directly. And I will be on the front page next Monday and the Monday after again. So it'll be interesting to see what the new set releasing next week if my numbers are a little bit better. Hey, what's going on, Weather Wolfle? If you haven't checked out Magic for a while, I definitely encourage you to check out Magic Arena. It's a fantastic digital Magic client. It's much better than the old Magic Online that we've had for years. Yeah, Wizard of the Coast doesn't do anything for me, Bob. This is all because of my Twitch stuff, not thanks to them. Yeah, the velocity is a little bit scary. The opponent looks like they're playing one of the potentially older builds. What the Phoenixes indicate. Are pretty dead here. We're at 9 and we're just taking a couple of hits. Why people have been cutting the Phoenixes because while the Phoenixes are more explosive, they tend to be a little bit less consistent. Do I think this will ever eventually fully replace Magic Online? I don't think so. Magic Online's going to exist as long as there's a drive for Magic's non-rotating formats to exist. I don't think formats like Legacy and Modern are ever going to exist on Magic Arena. And there's always going to be people that enjoy those formats, so... Sniv's probably too slow. I think I just bring in a couple Duresses for a couple of Cannonades. I really don't have fantastic cards for this matchup in my sideboard. I don't mind bringing in Eldest Reborn against the blue-red Drake decks that aren't playing Phoenix, but when they are playing Phoenix, they have enough stray extra creature they don't mind sacrificing that this card's not fantastic. So Niv is good in this matchup, but the problem is, if you look at my mana base, I've got 3 black sources in it, so like, it can be hard to cast Niv consistently in this deck. It's also a little bit slow. Let's give this a try. The Niv Mizzet in this sideboard is more so for when... The Niv Mizzet in the sideboard is more so for like the more dedicated controlling decks where the games are going to drag out and we're going to go to like 8 to 10 lands consistently. This hand is slow, but very good. We want to draw a basic land or a shock land, so that way these lands can come into play untapped. These 2 lands enter play tapped, which means I can't use them the turn I play them, unless I already have one of their other 2 land types in play, so a red or a blue source. Or black. Put up mulligan 2/6. Oh, they put me on the play. Interesting. Deal. This hand's much better on the play because being a turn behind on the play means we're basically at parity. Is Moment of Craving better than Cast Out? Well, we didn't actually see, and I drew a shock land there, which comes into play untapped for a little bit of life. We didn't actually see Electromancers out of my opponent. Oh, I chose to play. I'm dumb. Sorry. I'm doing 3 things at once. I'm always doing 3 things at once. Chat's right. I'm an idiot. This hand's great on the play. I'm an idiot. Maybe I should have taken the shock there. I guess I can freebooter the shock. I'm gonna keep Nick. I'm gonna keep Nick on top. Keeping this Nick might be greedy, but the 4/4 flyer is very good in this matchup. I guess Nick gives them a discard outlet for the Phoenix, though. But, like, I have the Lava Coil to cover the Phoenix, so... I assume they're going to shock this in response. Yep. I do get to look at their last card, though, even though I don't get to take anything. They drew a Crackling Drake. Yep. What's the saying? The broken clock's right twice a day? Alright, if they just have a Drake here, I get to Lava Coil it and then start hitting them with this and drawing extra cards, which would be quite fantastic. Arclight Phoenix. Okay, interesting. Huh, I think I'm actually going to Thought Erasure them here. And the reason for this is, if I Lava Coil the Arclight Phoenix this turn, my opponent would just get to play the Drake next turn, and this way I can take the Drake since I don't have another removal spell for it. This worked out pretty well for us. Hopefully my opponent plays the other Phoenix this turn and then attacks with 1 Phoenix, so that way I can Lava Coil the one they leave back and then hit them with the Thief of Sanity. Yeah, good. This is exactly what we want. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Alright, so if I Lava Coil the bird, I get to hit them with Thief, but Nicol Bolas taking their last card away is also kind of appealing. It also gives me a way to just like block these 3/2s, but it also likely locks me out of attacking more. I think I Lava Coil this and attack them because my opponent's deck likely also has copies of Lava Coil in it, and this way when I hit them with the Thief of Sanity, I could draw a way to kill this other bird. Alright. Take a short, of course. Yeah, resolving Thief's triggers is definitely game-winning. Cast down is good. Even though cast down doesn't exile their Phoenix, it means that they leave it back as a blocker again this turn. I'll be able to cast down and then hit them. Peace, Nivik. Have a good one. I'll borrow that one. So hopefully they don't have a Lava Coil in their hand. I'm actually going to take the Radical idea here because the other cards that Thief doesn't take go to my opponent's discard pile. And if Radical idea goes to their discard pile, they can then jumpstart it. The waiting 10 minutes to talk cuts down on a lot of spam bots and stuff like that. Surveil is a mechanic that refers to being able to set up the top of my deck. So basically lets me, Surveil has a number following it all of the time. And then it refers to how many cards I get to look at on top of my deck. I think that might be that is the fourth Phoenix, yep. All right, let's play Nick, who will hopefully take a card out of their hand, which means they're unlikely to be able to bring back the Phoenix. Well, it took a card out of their hand, but not in the way we wanted it to. We're dead if they get to string together a bunch of cantrips for their Phoenixes. So these Phoenixes come back from my opponent's discard pile if they play 3 instants and sorceries in a turn.
Today's forecast is cloudy. With
Cards always go to their owner's graveyard.
Because energy equals.
Ral is really scary. Well, I guess I just get to Dispersal him. So this sends it back to his hand and makes them discard. So Dispersal makes them pick up their highest cost card, so if they only have one, they have to pick up that one. What's going on, Eldorte? And pretty sure we just Dispersal that one as well. I think I want a Discovery here because I do need to draw a threat at some point. Because remember, they have a bunch of Phoenixes sitting in their bin. So, like, I need to kill them before they can chain 3 cantrips together and, like, put them into play and attack for a bunch. I really don't want to play this Radical idea because this Radical idea gives them a guaranteed instant or sorcery. Please bottom. Please bottom. Alright. They can draw 2 in a row, but 3 in a row means we're dead. Alright, if they top here, I assume we're dead. So we need the bottom and then miss here. So any instant or sorcery there would have killed us. Alright, what'd you draw? It's probably a land. Disdainful Stroke, this is a sweet one. Get to get rid of a land here with my Surveil. So, again, not using the Radical idea because it will go to their graveyard and allow them to jumpstart it. That's probably the game.
Always nice. Well, let's see what the wind blows in.
I guess I get it like a Vraska's Contempt here, but like with the Ral plus there, they're pretty likely to flip their birds out next turn. Yeah, tough. It felt like we were really far ahead in the early game there. I'm not quite sure where it fell apart. You have to go back and look. Whenever I play a game like that where I had a lot of decisions, it's always like, there's no way I made all of them correct. Durka, still great content, lost track of the time. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, we didn't have much disruption. I guess, like, we had disruption early, though. Like, I had Thief of Sanity. Pressure, sorry. Like, Thief of Sanity is pressure. We flooded a little bit. We also saw a lot of cards, though. Yeah, I mean, the Phoenix has made him very resilient. We mentioned that a lot of those decks have been trimming Phoenixes, and Phoenixes are definitely the reason why we won there. That's true. The fact that they had that many Phoenixes is part of why it fell apart for sure. Well, they don't have a third land guaranteed. I think I'm gonna take Vraska's Contempt. So generally speaking, my best piece of advice I can give people, especially if you want to get better as a Magic player or a card game player in general, is if you always write your losses off as being due to variance or bad luck, you really don't leave yourself room to improve as a player. If you always kind of just write it off as like it was outside of my control, then there's never anything you can do and you can't really get better. So you always want to focus on the things you can change as opposed to the things that were outside of your control. Hey, RG390, thanks for the 8-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I don't think I'm going to Lava Coil this. I think I'd rather Lava Coil the Midnight Reaper. Yeah, potentially. Potentially, for sure. Those are the types of decisions you want to look at. Like, I had a bunch of sequencing decisions, and there's a good chance I didn't make all the right ones. Correct. Sometimes it is still the correct evaluation, but I think a lot of people default to that evaluation too quickly, too often. So even though it was less resource efficient to Lava Coil there, I elected the Lava Coil rather than Vraska's Contempt because my opponent has this Vivian read in hand, and Vraska's Contempt can exile a Planeswalker, whereas Lava Coil cannot. All right, well that's a sweet rip. So I get to go ahead and do this, and I think I just kill their creature. So this takes a 3-drop, and then the 3-drop dies. The creature dies at end of turn if it costs 3 or less. So the Jade Light's gonna go away. This does let them kill my Angrath with their other Jade Light, but I have a follow-up Angrath, so it's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, I think that's probably a good assessment to Exhale. I think the sequencing on playing the Niv Mizzet versus the Phoenix and like how I chose to block were the two critical points I could like look back on and go like maybe it's not right to do what I did here. That's a big dumb dino. Alright, so we're gonna have a pretty solid curve here. So I get to Vraska's Contempt this Vivian. And then next turn, I can Hostage take her the Jade Light and replay it right away, which is sweet. Really hoping to fade the 6th land here. This is awesome. So because we faded the 6th land, they couldn't cast Carnage Tyrant this turn. And actually, because they're missing their land drop, I think I just Hostage take her the Druid of the Cowl. Just like yoink your mana dork. Your comments on the ongoing games have improved a lot throughout the last year. Definitely. I mean, streaming's just like any other job, right? Especially streaming Magic. Like, I've definitely gotten better at it as I've gone. Even just look back to like 6 months ago. What I do today is much better. Are there mental exercises or practice you do to remember your games in order to reflect on them for later? No, not really. I'm just kind of fortunate that I have a very good memory. So if they have like an Assassin's Trophy or a cast down here, they can kill this in response to the trigger. Yoink. Going on a bear hunt. Going on and explore. So explore lets me look at the top card of my deck twice, and I can either discard it if it's a spell, or I draw it if it's a land. I think I just want to keep Discovery on top, and if it's not a land, it stays on top or the graveyard, and it gets a 1/1 counter. Yeah, taking the Druid puts them behind on tempo, and when we're really far ahead on board like this, tempo is pretty valuable. So this is a viewer submission, M-Lord. So I think I just want to board in Direfleet Poisoner and swap out these Fiery Cannonades again. Feels good. That's what we did last time against Black-Green, and it felt pretty reasonable. Yeah, definitely playing more is almost always the answer. I'm gonna mute myself and eat a snack here real quick. Hashtag sponsored. These Neo bars are great, by the way. I actually had to send them. They had to send me more before I was supposed to get more because I might have eaten all of them too quickly. I gotta pace myself with these other boxes. Or maybe I'll just buy more. I'll probably end up buying more. What's going on, Caboose? So my opening hand didn't have a black source here, but it had the ability to cast Discovery, which gives me the very likely chance to draw a black source. I think I'm going to get rid of this Lava Coil here, because I already have 2 pieces of removal in my hand, and if I keep this, I'm going to be pretty likely to miss my 4th land drop, and I'd really like to hit 5 land drops on time so I can play Angrath out. No, you are definitely welcome to add stock good deck lists like Just Guy, for sure. Encouraged even. Better mana Just Guy sounds great. So, because I have double Thief here, I think I'm actually just going to jam this first one, rather than play the Kitesail Freebooter out first, because the upside if they don't have a removal spell is, like, pretty high here. Trying to get Contempted. I think it's fine to just jam there. It's more resource efficient to jam as well. Start with this. Watch this miss now. Just get super punished. All right, they have Vivian Reed. It's a decent swipe. I'm gonna go ahead and shock this in, I think, and then Lava Coil their 3/2. Just take some of their pressure out of play. We're dead, right? We're just not beating the Carnage chart on this board, along with all their other pressure. Let's head to game 3. Yeah, definitely, Magus. In fact, if you go to the bit.ly/Ugobar, it's just that it goes to the Amazon page where you buy it, which has all the nutrition facts up there on it. We played Red White Land Destruction before this today, believe it or not. It was the second deck on the stream title. I've been live for almost 4 hours already. Yeah, the new room has a small reverb to it. I'm actually going to be what's the word I'm searching for? I have sound deadening panels that I'm gonna be hanging up on the walls that should get here in the mail today. I took the cast down rather than the Assassin's Trophy here, because if they want to Assassin's Trophy my Kitesail Freebooter and give me an extra land, I think that's a win for me. I think I'm actually going to take their Jade Light Ranger here, because it makes them pretty likely to miss on a land drop. Or like, if they hit the 3rd land this turn, they're less likely to hit 4 the next turn. So now, I get to take their last removal spell here, and then I get to use Cast Down with my other 2 mana when they attack me, and then I can Hostage take her and take the other one. I think Spyglass went first. I don't know. We do have multiple copies of Angrath, and that card's like very good in this matchup. I'm gonna sit down for a hot second, enjoy the ride, chat. I've been standing for most of today. So, because they hit their third land this turn, I do get into trouble if they rip an untapped land next turn because they can kill my hostage taker. They named Angrath, I assume? Yeah, Angrath. So we really need them to miss on a land here. If they miss on a land and a 2-mana removal spell, we should be pretty well off. If this finds us a land, we get to Thief of Sanity this turn as well. Why didn't we just steal the Spyglass? That's a fun idea. I could do that later, though. Like, the next hostage taker can take the Spyglass. Alright. Yep. So they have a bunch of removal spells here. I guess I'm kind of losing this race. Well, not losing the race, but like, they're gonna get to kill their way through my things. I have Hostage Taker trucking along here for 2 points. Spyglass cannot take Hexproof off of Garnish Iron. Spyglass only stops activated abilities, so that's like the text box on Planeswalkers or Treasure Map or stuff like that. The easiest way to tell if a card has an activated ability or not is activated abilities have a colon on them. So if you look at Nicol Bolas, the Ravager here, all of the Planeswalker abilities have a colon, and his flipping thing has a colon. Tempo is my preferred Magic archetype. So I assume we're gonna Vraska's Contempt this. And then I think I'm actually here going to... I think I'm actually gonna Hostage Taker and then name Vivian Reed proactively like this, because Vivian's one of their cards that lets them claw back into this game. Tempo is Magic jargon that generally refers to aggro control. Their tempo decks are aggressive decks that tend to have discard or counter spells to back their creatures up with. They're not all in aggressive decks like something like white-red aggro or mono-red. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for dropping in here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. We are currently playing Magic the Gathering Arena, their standard constructed format here. I stream Arena 5 or 6 days a week. If you're enjoying my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the people that keep me employed here full-time. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. Past subscribing, you can also support my stuff by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. Harry's Razors would love to help you get that close, clean shave using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/HoogleShave. You can save $5 on your brand new starter kit with them. It's as little as $8. Remember, just because you like playing the degenerate decks doesn't mean you need to look like it. Hurly Burly Studios does professional Magic the Gathering altars. They do border extensions and full art replacements, and you can save Jeff 10 on your orders there with her, and you can find lots of great high-resolution pictures of all of the past altars that she's done at hurlyburlystudio.com. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn your cards into other cards directed to other players. There's no haggling, and they just take 1% fee off of the top. And, of course, Inked Gaming would love to help you customize your gaming experience. They do custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, bags, and all sorts of other fantastic stuff there. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of custom artwork that they have on their website, such as my own Hoaglandia branded merchandise. Heading on into the next match with our Grixis Midrange Thieves, whatever you want to call it, deck. What's going on, Hurley? I need the altars that you sent me are in a box somewhere, so I unfortunately didn't have them to hold up. I will have them next Monday for sure, though, when we're back on the front page. Hey, Diverix, thanks to you very much for the Prime support. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting me there. You're better at shilling birches than playing Magic. To be fair, I never professed to be good at playing Magic. They just let me do this. They let just anybody stream on Twitch, chat. Well, so far we're 2-0. So far we're 2-0 against Green Black with this deck. So let's see if we can keep the streak going. So I left them their better removal spell in Vraska's Contempt here, and this is a pretty common sequence when you have something like Kitesail Freebooter. By leaving them the better removal spell, what's the word I'm searching for? By leaving them the better removal spell, they're forced to use that better removal spell on my worst creature here. Kitesail Freebooter sounds fantastic. Put my land in the play tap. The back! 514 with the brand new Prime support. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. I appreciate that. Our disruption here is looking quite fantastic. Just thoroughly picking up what they have going on over there. Jade Blade's really good when it draws 2 cards. Alright, what's your mystery card? Do not need more land. So Surveil 2 lets us take these 2 lands and discard them, and then we draw a new random card. Extra piece of removal's not terrible. No blocks. Easy Lava Coil target here. I think I'm just leaving the Jade Light Ranger in play because I can race it. And I have Fiery Cannonade now, which is sweet. So I'm still Lava Coiling the Midnight Reaper, even though it would die to Fiery Cannonade. And the reason for this is the Midnight Reaper says whenever a creature they control dies, they get to draw a card. So I'd much rather they don't get to draw cards when the rest of their board dies. And Lava Coil exiles their creature, so it's not technically dying, it's exiled. There's a small distinction. Extra Branchwalker, sure. Hopefully they have a second Branchwalker here, and then Cannonade just cleans all these out. Worth noting, the Fiery Cannonade doesn't kill non-pirates, so it won't kill my Kitesails. They put a Jade Light on top. Wow! Alright, well this... I've boarded Fiery Cannonade out the last 2 times we've played this matchup, and I think it's correct, but it's about to be very good on this board. So, I am going to use my health total as a bit of a resource here. I'm going to take a hit for 8, but they'll play out this Jade Light post-combat, and in response to the Explore trigger, we'll cast the Cannonade. Hopefully they don't Carnage Tyrant us. If they Carnage Tyrant us, we're going to get in trouble. It's important that I Cannonade in response to the Explore trigger here, and the reason for that is this Explore trigger could result in the Jade Light Ranger having 3 toughness. That's incredibly bad for us. So, Finality can kill my board back, and then they get these 2 removal spells, and we're back to parity. They could just pick 2 creatures back up here, and we'd much prefer they use Find to pick their creatures back up. Because I can Hostage Taker a Jade Light Ranger. Deal. Now, drawing a land next turn isn't even that bad, because if I draw an untapped land, I can Hostage Taker and replay the Jade Light in the same turn. Thief of Sanity. This 4-3 is racing us really quickly. I think I just have to Lava Coil it. The problem is my Kitesail Freebooters are kind of going to have a domino effect here as they die. So the Ravenous Chupacabra is going to kill the Kitesail Freebooter, which gives them a cast down back. And then the cast down is going to kill the other Kitesail Freebooter, which gives them a Vraska's Contempt back. So I chose not to play the Thief because I'd like for them to use their removal spells on things that aren't my Thief of Sanity. But yeah, maybe I'm supposed to put Thief into play so that way they Chupacabra that instead of my other stuff. I don't know, if I draw like Thought Erasure here, I'm pretty happy to have waited. The new expansion seems really sweet. There's a lot of really awesome cards in it. I'm gonna take Hostage Taker here. If they Contempt my Hostage Taker, I don't have any other creatures for them to play. And if they don't Contempt my Hostage Taker, I get to play their Chupacabra out next turn. So I think I'm happy. It's like 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Pretty happy with either result my opponent can choose here. Yep. Love all the content. Look forward to your next rant. What's going on, Gargantuan? Thank you for the 5-month resub there. Welcome back. That is a Contempt of my own. So I am at 8. I am at 8. Do I just play Thief of Sanity. If I play Thief of Sanity, the upside is potentially very high. I could also just be a little bit conservative here and just like Vraska's Contempt their Ravenous Chupacabra. I think I'm going to elect to be a little bit conservative. Am I? Yeah, that's true. If I kept the land, I could have Hostage Taker Jade Light, which is maybe better. I agree. Yeah, I think bidding the land on the Surveil was wrong. I agree with that assessment. Well, now I've made that mistake and I have to play through it. I think I'm going to play the Thief. And just take the hit for 5 and go to 3 and hope they don't have a removal spell here. Yeah, I'm like sitting here hoping to draw land. If I would just kept the land, we wouldn't need to. Perfect. All right, if they have a piece of instant speed spot removal, they can kill this in response to the trigger and then kill us. But they don't, because this is a no justice stream. God bless. That one can stay right there. 3-drop that's good is good in general, but it's extra good here because I can do Thief plus Vraska's Contempt in the same turn, generating another double spell turn. Which is ideal for us. What deck is this? This is a Grixis midrange deck. So my opponent played Memorial to Folly. I'm honestly a little surprised that they didn't attack with the Ravenous Chupacabra there to like force me to eat it so they could rebuy it. I'm gonna go ahead and Contempt this so I exile it. Yeah, we're coming up to the tail end of the front page feature, so we'll probably slide down from here. This attack's probably silly. They just get to block for free. Wow, they have a piece of spot removal and they're being pretty disciplined with it. So they have a Jade Light in here, right? They don't. They just have a Branch Walker. So they can Branch Walker, pick that back up, and attack me for 2 here. Easy 6 with the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is why this attack was bad. If I would have left, the Hostage Taker attack didn't do any damage to them, and this could have blocked the 2/4 for free. So I've basically taken 2 points of damage that I didn't need to take here, and my health total is really low, so. They have a Find Finality. Gross. They're gonna get to pick Branch Walker back up, and they're gonna pick Wild Growth Walker plus Branch Walker back up here, most likely. What's the difference between tempo and mid-range decks? If you're familiar with the current standard format, mono blue is a tempo deck. Generally, tempo decks tend to play cheaper, more efficient threats, and mid-range decks tend to go further up the curve. So, like the green-black deck my opponent is playing is definitely a mid-range deck, whereas mono blue would be considered a tempo deck. They had a Vraska's Contempt in their hand. I think I'm going to block here plus Fiery Cannonade. So they have 2 lands in their hand, so we're kind of at parity again here. Generally, blue-green is created to lose or splash into other decks. Simic, generally speaking, isn't very good on its own. So, I know they have a brick in their hand there, but it's pretty important that I get to Surveil, I think. Four Hostage Takers have been really good in this deck. Card's been really impressive. I really like that this deck is playing Hostage Taker alongside of a lot of other must-answer threats, so it gives us a higher probability of our opponent being out of answers by the time the Hostage Taker comes down, especially in conjunction with our discard spells to help keep the realm clear. That one's going away. That one's going away too. Alright, I can't attack in anymore because they have a 4-3, but the 4-3 also can't attack us, so go. Holding one land is fine, but generally you don't want to hold two. Just in case you, like, have a chain of, like, draw cards. Yeah, Twitch must be bugging out if chat's having issues with multiple people. Alright, well. Kill this, start attacking for 4. Snacks with the brand new Prime Support. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good Monday and had a good weekend. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed here. Dunk dunk. This has been a slog of a game. Kinda punished for using my Lava Coil when I did. I have to cast down through this, but it doesn't feel good because my opponent gets to draw a card. Do I have a specific standing desk that I would recommend? I'd actually recommend not getting the one that I have. I have an uplift desk that I'm going to be replacing when I rebuild my studio. Because the electronics in it are bugged and it like randomly stops going up halfway when I hit one of my pre-programs. It's really annoying. I don't think Bedevil is good enough to splash on its own, but maybe in conjunction with other cards in red, the red overall is worth the splash. Finality's definitely one of their better draws here. Hopefully we find another hostage taker, so we can take her their Jade Light and Wild Growth Walker ourselves. Woof. Yeah, I liked my uplift desk up until it started having issues. It was fine until it had issues. All right, it's a good pickup. Buffers our health total a little bit here too. So the model of the desk that I have has a little computer component on the side that has presets on it. And it randomly stops going up and down midway and like goes back to the previous setting and I have to like pause it and tell it to go back up again. Thanks everybody for sticking through who dropped in from the front page of Twitch. Hope you're having a good Monday. Our stint on there is over now, so I expect our viewer number to drop off a little bit from here. Do you think Electro Dominance could be used in Frenzy to flash a Vivi? I think it's probably too cute. I think I'm gonna cast down here. Keep my hostage taker alive. Yeah, their customer support was less than stellar when I interacted with them on the past gaming. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Like, I didn't look too hard or reach many desk reviews before I picked this one up, and this was just like, I basically just went with the cheapest brand. Do we have any outs left? I'm not sure that we do. Oh, actually, if we hit a hostage taker, our Wild Growth Walker will be able to block this.
No fire.
Probably. Are we just dead? If I go block, block. I'm technically not dead on board. We're dead to anything, but I'm not dead on board. Was Angrath? Angrath wasn't lethal, right? I could steal this and attack with everything, and they go block, block, and only take 3. They are not. They just Tempo Storm just branched into Magic, but the owner, CEO, creator, Reynad, is familiar with Magic and streamed Magic once upon a time. Yeah, this has hexproof. Gosh, if only Angrath could take Carnicharian, would be quite excellent for us. do we got?
I've lost so much already. I won't lose more.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they've just been flooding. I'm gonna go to 1 here. We're hoping to draw a copy of Hostage Taker, so we can Hostage Taker their Jade Light and then play it and trigger the Wild Growth Walker. Yeah, it's gonna be all she wrote, right? Yep. Oh, no, that was a heck of a game 1. Let's sideboard and get to the post board game. Yeah, we have 4 Hostage Takers in our deck, so we only had 2 out there, so we're 2 more. Cut the Cannonades, bring in the Direfleet Poison, we'll be on our way. We topped out, I believe, at like 9,200 or so. The Twitch stats thing will tell me after I'm done today. There's a lot of API data that farms that. Yep, which is over almost double what we kept on it last week. GDQ being done probably helped with that. Games done quick is huge and pulls a lot of people. Opponent taking their time sideboarding, which again, most of the opponents we played against with this deck have taken a while to sideboard, which doesn't surprise me. Their deck's kind of off meta, so not too much of a surprise that they're struggling to figure out exactly what they want to do. I'm gonna bottom that. We're looking to hit our 3rd land on time for Thief of Sanity, or draw a Thought Erasure on turn 2. Does that mean we're a GP, basically? This is GP Hoagland. To be fair, 9,000 people's probably higher than the peak of some limited Grand Prix. The Dragon's deck snacks. Alright, do you have a removal spell? You do not. That's great for me. Take Merfolk, Branchwalker. Worth noting, Thief of Sanity cannot play lands. I know I'm missing my land drop this turn, but I'm going to play the other Thief and just bury them in cards. So wouldn't be too surprised to see like Vraska's Contempt here, but that still means we're hitting them with one of these, which is great for us. So they killed the thief, but like each thief drew at least 1 card, so it generated card advantage. If this hits again, that would be even better. I'm gonna play Jade Light to start here. I'm gonna Discovery, dig for a 4th land, and then we can play Branchwalker. Perfect. So I'll take Dragonskull Summit, and then Merfolk Branchwalker is gonna draw this Watery Grave. And the Merfolk Branchwalker here means if my opponent has a Vivian Reed or an Eldest Reborn, we're pretty covered. Because if they Vivian and shoot down Thief, Branchwalker will kill their Vivian afterwards. And then we get to play Angrath and start ticking him up.
Wild animals are like, this is nothing.
Alright, we're in a pretty okay spot. My opponent definitely could have like lands and Carnage Tyrants to maybe get us, but we're definitely ahead at the moment.
Never no fire, no steel.
So I don't think that Eldest Reborn is too slow for this matchup. I just think it's not very good. This matchup, the opponent tends to have cards like Land War Elves and Explorer Creatures and Midnight Reapers. There's lots of things they don't mind sacrificing. So Eldest Reborn's first text line just doesn't really do much. If we don't get Carnage Tyrants here, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. Gosh, this Merfolk was so good. This insulated us on so many axes here.
fire, no steel.
I think I'm gonna Jade Light here because it gives me 2 chances to hit a land and also play the Thief. God, that hurts almost. Do I keep this? Do I bin this to try and hit a land? So there's 5 lands in play. So I'm like a coin flip to hit a land here. I think I'm just gonna leave this on top. I think only being a coin flip to hit the land there means it's not good enough, and I'd rather just have an extra Thief of Sanity. Yeah, it's like less resource efficient this turn, but it's like better for me in the long run potentially.
No fire, no steel.
They are getting Vivian back or Vraska next turn. I think I actually wait on playing the Thief of Sanity because they're going to get a Planeswalker back this turn that could kill the Thief. And this way I want to be able to Contempt it and then play Thief. So this way my Thief doesn't die to known information and it demands another answer out of their hand. Fineberger's pretty good. Yeah, the ult on Angrath is also looming, which is very useful for us. Wouldn't be too surprised to just like play Vraska down tick here.
All hands on deck.
I'd recommend just playing whichever deck you enjoy the play patterns of more, Fishlamp. My deck is a Grixis midrange deck, which Grixis refers to the colors of my lands, which are red, black, and blue. And my opponent is playing a green-black midrange deck.
No fire, no steel.
So I think I just Lava Coil, exile this, play Thief, play tapped land. So like, Thief needs to be answered or it's going to bury them in cards, and Angrath needs to be answered or it's going to kill them with the ultimate next turn. What's going on, Lizardio? Happy Monday, hope you're having a good one. Sweet, get to into game 3. It's probably going to be the last game that we play with the Grixis deck before we move on to Sultai. To be fair, the opponent kind of did us a service there because the Angrath ultimate animation is absurdly disappointing. Like, the Angrath +1 and -3 both have A+ animations, and like, his ultimate animation is like a C- at best. Really kind of disappointing. Oh, this hand's so good with a blue source. I'm gonna keep this on the draw. And I think I'd mulligan this on the play, but on the draw, I got 3 shots at blue, and I think the spell base is really good here. Discovery's so awesome. The fact that this casts off of black mana is fantastic for us here. Likely means we will hit it next turn. Natural blue source. I really wanted to hit the natural blue there, because natural blue would have meant I could go removal spell into Thief guaranteed. Tips on how to increase your library quickly. Your credit card. The most powerful card Magic the Gathering has. The credit card. Yeah, Walker into Jade Light is so busted. Very, very powerful. Alright, they ditched the Carnage Tyrant, which means they are digging for lands here. So, the Thief of Sanity is pretty likely to die here. I think I'm just supposed to cast down the Wild Growth Walker this turn, because, like, if I play Thief and they kill Thief right away and hit me for 6, I'm pretty far behind in the race. And then next turn, I think I go Thought Erasure. Oh, I can't Thought Erasure and Direfleet because I don't have double black. That's a big deal. So I'd like to draw an untapped black source here. Woof. Remember that time I boarded out Fiery Cannonade for Direfleet Poisoner? And Fiery Cannonade would have been much better. Yikes. I think I just have to hostage take her here and hope for the best. What formats do I enjoy outside of Standard? Modern's fine. I pretty much only play Constructed. So we play some Modern on this channel. Play a bunch of Standard on Arena. We'd probably play more Modern if we could play it on Arena, but Arena's just so much better than Magic Online. It's not particularly close. Alright, so... I really want to find a land here so I could do something in addition to this. Yes, definitely, goalie. Thank you for the reminder. That should get it bumped up into... We're going to do a few Legacy decks the next couple days. There's a bunch of Legacy decks that'll be high. What brews do I have planned on the second one? You can actually find a bunch of the decks I play. Maybe I should have attacked with the Taker there. Yeah, not attacking Taker into Vivian's probably wrong. You can find a bunch of decks that I have built that I'm planning to play starting Thursday when the new set releases in the deck queue on my website. They're listed under New Standard. Alright, well there's a land finally. I'm gonna Thought Erasure here to check for removal. Although I guess Vivian just kills my thing. God, their hand is good. God, their hand is good. That's so gross. Is that worth keeping? I think so. That lets me hostage taker plus replay a 2-drop next turn. I will not be streaming in the special streamer event on Wednesday. So Wizards of the Coast removed the ability to play best of 3 for the people playing in their streamer event. So I declined the invite. I told them, thank you, but please give it to someone who's willing to play best of 1, because I don't really enjoy playing Magic as a best of 1 game. Nothing, Kill a Germ. All the same decks that existed previously still exist. Some of them are just worse.
Are my shield.
Oh, we're dead, right? Angrath can't redirect to a player. Yeah, I shouldn't have kept this. I should have dug for Vraska's Contempt there. Yeah, I should have dug for Vraska's Contempt. Messed that game up a little bit. So we had 2-1 against Green Black overall. Doesn't seem terrible. Definitely could have potentially made better choices in that third game there to have put ourselves in a better spot. When people play in paper tournaments, do people keep the cards in their hand revealed? They do not usually, but you can write them down. Arena basically just tracks for you and leaves information available that you can write down in paper. As far as this deck goes, I like some of what this was doing. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Thought Erasure into Thief of Sanity. I was particularly impressed with the 4 copies of Hostage Taker in this deck, especially considering we have a lot of other threats that demand answers right away. Hostage Taker is pretty likely to live for us. I was kind of medium on Fiery Cannonade, but I don't know if there's necessarily a better spot. Maybe the Dire Fleet Poison is like a little bit more proactive. How much best of 1 have I played? I played casual Magic for a decade before I started playing Magic competitively, so I played a lot of best of 1 during that time. I know. I understand mathematically what best of 1 does, and it increases variance, makes linear, non-interactive decks better, and makes decks that are trying to play good, honest, interactive games of Magic much worse. So, all right, what are we doing next? Well, this isn't really a pirates list, Tom. It's a little bit different. There's only 8 pirates in here.